Land is about one woman's resilience in overcoming an unfathomable event that takes place in her life. And through the kindness of a stranger, has a new, renewed sense of faith and hope, and it's about human resilience. In the beginning, Edee is very resistant to letting anything, news about the outside world, the closeness that would be of norm, where you meet someone and you start talking about your lives with one another. And they don't do that in this movie. And he respects that wish of hers when she just wants to keep it spare. And he is also a character who's very spare with his words. So that chemistry between the two of them, I wanted it to feel palpable, even though we didn't have multiple scenes that were lengthy dialogue scenes. I wanted you to feel that beautiful connection between them.
On this scene, Miguel comes back once again to visit Edee. When Miguel brings this drawing to Edee, it's a very important connection with what happens in Miguel's life and how that connects to Edee's life. I think it's important that Edee understands that Miguel is also a real person. That there's although she might think he's an angel, he has his own life, and he's been through his own sorrow, and he's basically saying goodbye. He will be gone for a while. It has been a very intense type of encounter. And it's always, difficult to know if you're going to see each other again, if you're going to see anyone in your life again.
So they have this very simple exchange, not a lot of words. And because of his compassion and empathy and rescue of her, she is now in a rebirth stage of her grief and is ready to face the pictures, literally ready to face them, because she hasn't been able to do so for quite some time. So that's a moment of acceptance and reflection at the same time.
My niece Elke drew this.
It's beautiful.
They always ask about my hermit friend who lives in the mountains. I think they think I'm making it up. She wants you to keep it.
Well, I'm gonna get something for Elke. And give her something to prove I exist.
I have to go away for a while. Potter loves her here. Do you think you could take him for me?
Sure. When will I see you again?
It's hard to tell this time. You stay here, boy. Okay? Be good.
One of the challenges of the film was respecting the fact that the cabin and wildlife and isolation was in fact a character or a set of characters unto themselves, because this film is so much about quiet and wilderness and open space. So the cabin's role, and especially as a bridge between Miguel and Edee, was the focus, frankly, of our early efforts, and we had to get it right. And I think what we set as a goal was to keep it brutal and intact from an inside and outside relationship standpoint. The props that are exchanged in that scene were so important, because there are so few connections back to her Chicago life and relationships to their child Drew, the boy that we never really see except in a ghostly or flashback manner. So I've always found, as a designer, you can always, none of us adults can replicate that sort of magic looseness and freedom that children's drawings have. So it was so special for me and my kids, frankly, to see those drawings, because I routinely recruit my daughters to do a lot of these drawings, because you just can't beat the penmanship and the approach and the abstraction that children use when they do these kinds of things.
We all talked very carefully with Trevor about positioning of windows and direction that would let light into that place. We were 8,000 feet up, and as Trevor said, we were going to make a facsimile of this cabin on a stage. We decided, why would we want to, discount the views out of these windows, and why would Robin want to stand on a stage and be staring at green screens when she could actually stare, be involved with the landscape in front of her face. The things that made the film most difficult to shoot, i.e. the elements and the weather, made the film better, because, we could feel the nature, not only just see it, but it would affect how she behaved. I spent practically every night of the shoot in that cabin. I slept there often with the camera and some lenses, so that if the crew was leaving early and the sun was going down, I could get some spectacular virgin shots of the sunset without a crew walking around. The thing that I get most from this scene is the lighting, more so than the composition. It was something that I was more conscious about when constructing the scene with Robin. They meet outside in a sunny day. Again, this man is bringing her light and hope in the sunshine. He gives her this drawing, and she decides that she wants to repay him. So she goes inside and she goes to a memory that she's kept locked up in secret, something too painful for her to face for a long time. And she takes this drawing out. She's backlit. Her face is in shadow. And the moment she opens the drawing, the light that is coming from the back hits the drawing itself. And quite practically and symbolically and literally, the light bounces off of that piece of paper and lights her face. So in essence, this memory, instead of bringing her pain, actually brings her hope and light and joy. With that, she wants to gift it to him, the return of the kind of light and hope and joy that he's given her.
I feel that this is an important scene because you go through phases. Humans go through phases of different emotions. And the fact that she is not able to, visually look at photographs of her past, she's not ready. And when I say phases, I mean that very thing. There is a phase at some point when you are ready to move to the next phase.
I believe that there are angels in our life that we encounter at certain points that help us transit through difficult times. Sometimes we don't even know that they were around. Sometimes we're not even aware of their presence. And sometimes they are very present and very, tangible. Like Miguel in Edee's life. He can be called an angel because he is willing to help. without asking anything in return, without even asking any questions. He doesn't need to know anything about Edee. He only knows that she needs help, and he's there. And as he says, she was on my path. It's a big sign that it was my turn in life. It was up to me to help this human being.
I had the opportunity on this movie to talk to some very experienced psychologists and psychiatrists who deal with trauma. And I really wanted to understand the varying degrees of it and how does one come out on the other side.
Through these characters, you understand that you can come back from the deepest pain in life that you could ever imagine experiencing if you are lucky to find somebody else. And the way you find somebody else to help you is to be open for that help. It's open to that opportunity. Those type of stories are so much needed, and not only nowadays, but as artists, it's important that we tell this type of stories.
In the scene where Miguel is given the drawing by Edee, it's just a returned gesture. His gift to her is from his niece, and that's basically saying to her, my family, they want to know you. They want to know who my friend is. And it's a welcoming. And she does the same in return. She's giving him a piece of her life without having to say it. And that's trust that she has in that man, and a beautiful human connection that she found that allowed her to want to live again.